Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. A while ago I did some grafting where I took an apple and I grafted that onto a pear, and then I did the reverse. So recently a viewer wanted to see what's going on with those grafts and if they're still alive or not. So today I'm going to show you those, and at the same time I'm going to show you some update that I've done on the grafts where I took a bunch of apple scions and grafted those onto one single branch. So let's go take a look. So here is my apple. It is a multi-grafted. I mean, there's so many different varieties on there right now, but let me show you the pear graft that I grafted onto this tree. So here is my Shinko pear, and as you can see, there's the graft union right there. So from here is my apple, and from here is my pear, and this is the union right here. And so these are pear leaves, as you can see. And then if you move up, we have pear fruit. Look at that. There was a bunch more, but I took them off because this branch can't support all that anyway. So I took about 4 pears off and I left these 2. So this is a Shinko pear right here. And then if you go down here, that's my Fuji apple right there. See? This is a Fuji apple. I grafted a new variety of apple here, so that I think that's going to be okay soon. But anyway, that is the pear that I grafted on to my apple. So let me show you the reverse. Okay, so here is my Shinko pear. It's a pretty good sized tree. And at the bottom here, this is an apple. It had flowers earlier, but none of the flowers stuck. See, it all fell off. So here, you see, I did a bud graft right there. So from here is the pear, you see? That's the original pear. It just had a shoot come out like this. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna practice grafting. So I took a bud off of my apple and I grafted right here, see? And this is the apple. The leaves look very similar to the pear for some reason. You see this? On the right is apple, on the left is pear. And so here, see, this is my Shinko pear. Those are the Shinko fruit right there. And again, I mentioned that all of the flowers on the apple dropped. So this little graft right there is about 2 years old. I was hoping the fruit would stick so I can show you. So do I recommend grafting, different types of trees onto the other? No, but it can happen. It's not going to be very healthy, but it's a fun experiment. So if you want to do that, you can graft apple onto a pear, and then you can take a pear and graft that onto an apple. It will work. It's just not going to be very healthy because, of course, they're not compatible. Alright, so today let's go ahead and take a look at the other grafts that I've done also. So here is one branch, you see that? And then I grafted this here. Let me see, I'll read the name out to you guys so you can know what varieties they are. So here's a graft right here, and it took on pretty well. It's been a few weeks now. This is the Rubella. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you want your graft to have good success or good chances of success, any bud that form from the original tree, take those off. Like for example here. See, I have some, you see, it sprouted. So just take those off. And if anything underneath here, which I already did, if they sprout out, just take those off, because you want all the energy to focus here onto the new graft so that it can grow there. So that one's a success. And then here's the next one. This is another Rubella. I really like Rubella variety. And so here, you see, that's a success right there. I usually leave this on for a while until I get all the leaves to come out, and then I'll take that off. Because what happened was, when all the leaves come out, the top becomes really heavy, and then when the wind blow at it, it snaps, and that happened to be multiple times. So that is why I still leave this on. So here's the next one. The bud is still not there yet, but this is a Daimok apple. And here's the next one. You see the buds are coming out right there. And this one is Mutsu apple. And then here's another one. You see the buds are coming out. And again, if you see anything underneath it, see, just take those off, so it'll focus the energy there. So this one is Harry Masters Jersey apple. And then here is another one. The bud is starting to form. That is a Smokehouse apple. And then here, you see the buds are forming right there. That is the Hidden Rose. And this one I just added this week. And that is the pink Remum. I don't know, Remum or something. So those all took. And these are some other ones that graft on another branch. And this is a Spartan. You see, here's Spartan right here. That took pretty well. And then here's, I think I added this week. Anything that with a bag I added this week. And that is a Spartan also. And then here's another one here. You see, they even have flowers. And that is a Jonathan apple. See, it's starting to form. And then here, that one's looking good. You see the bud is starting to break open. And another Rubella. This is a Cortland right here. If you follow the Cortland, look at this. See that union? And that's the Cortland apple. You see that the leaves grow like that. And when I take these off too early, where the union hasn't healed completely, it snaps in the wind. And so I wait for a while before. So I want everything to heal up nicely, and then I take it off. And that's what it looks like. And then here's another one here. See, the buds are forming right there. And that is a Jonah Gold. And then I have one here. This is a Spartan. And it's kind of forming some buds right here. And here's one that I did a while back. You see, look at that heel. I did the whip and tongue graft, and you can tell by the pattern. And that is the Crips Pink. I think Crips Pink is the same thing as Pink Lady. And here's another one here. This is the Red Gold. And here we have Williams Pride. It's still alive. No growth there. This is Cinnamon Spice. I just added. You see the bag. And then here, look at the flowers. See those flowers? They're forming. And that is the Early Geneva. And these two here, I just added. That's a Smokehouse Sansa apple. It's looking good. You see the buds are forming right there. And I think, oh yeah, there's another one in the middle right there. Let's see what that is. That's a Jonah Gold. And yep, the buds are forming. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of grafts on here. And of course, many of these variety may not be compatible with my region. And if they're not, I'm just gonna cut those off. But these are all experiments. I just want to try and see how well they work. And again, you always want to grow varieties that are compatible to your region, your zone, because if you do that, it grows the best. And if you live in a hot climate and then you graft on varieties that love the cold, it's not going to work out very well. Or if you live in the south where you get a lot of like diseases like blight, and you graft on a variety that are susceptible to blight, that's not going to work out well either. And so these are all tests. I want to see what works best, and then from that I'm going to take that variety and I'm going to do more grafting. So anyway guys, that is all. And grafting apples and pears are so easy. The best time of the year to do this is the dormant period all the way up into April. I live in zone 8, and so that's my experience. I get such good success rate. I think of all of these grafts that I've done this year on this apple tree, maybe one that failed. So I use mostly the whip and tongue method, and the whip and tongue work the best when the branches are, like around this size. The smaller the branches, the harder it is to do the whip and tongue. So for those, you can just, what the method called, where you slice the branch in the middle and you insert the branch. I forgot what that's called, but I'll list it out. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, just leave it below, and thank you so much for watching.